we are excited to be here. And when I say we, I mean the Trans-Africa Tourism and Unity Campaign. We arrived here on Saturday on the occasion of your 59th independence anniversary. So let me use this unique opportunity to congratulate all of you, the people of Lesotho, for your resilience and for your 59th anniversary. The Trans-Africa Tourism and Unity Campaign is a Government of Ghana endorsed initiative. We began this campaign from Accra, Ghana on the 18th of August. And Lesotho is the 13th country since we started. So we've been to Togo in West Africa, Benin in West Africa, Nigeria in West Africa, and then we entered Central Africa, which is Cameroon, and then we went to 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗦, we went to Gabon, and we went to Congo, Republic of Congo, and then we went to the Democratic Republic of Congo, which make up parts of Central African countries, and then we entered Namibia, then Botswana, then South Africa. We're currently here in Lesotho, and from here we head into Eswatini, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Malawi. That would make up the 𝗧𝗥𝗥𝗦 regions before we head into East Africa. The Trans-Africa Tourism and Unity Campaign is a road trip through 39 African countries, which has taken us 163 days. By way of kilometers, we're doing about 40,000 kilometers. You know, if you want to get the driving time, so we're driving 600 hours, you know, throughout Africa. And we're doing this to promote a borderless Africa, to promote a visa-free Africa, where all African nationals can pick up their passports and be able to have access to all the 55 countries within the continent of Africa. Now, we strongly believe that a borderless Africa would create opportunities for our people. We strongly believe that a borderless Africa would keep us together as Africans. We strongly believe that a borderless Africa would encourage cultural exchanges. It would boost trade. It would certainly also boost intra-Africa tourism. Currently, our continent, which is Africa, makes about $1.9 billion annually from tourism. Now, this is a number that can certainly be quadrupled. If you look at how beautiful Lesotho is, for instance, if all Africans got to know that this is such a beautiful country, nobody would want to go to Switzerland, nobody would want to go to Asia, nobody would want to go to Paris, nobody would want to go to all the so-called beautiful places in Asia and Europe, because you've got everything here. You've got a wonderful weather, you've got beautiful, you know, mountains, hills and valleys, and the laughter and the warmth and the culture of the people of Lesotho is quite inspiring and very welcoming. You know, so we are strongly of the view that Africa is a blessed country and continent, and for which reason we've got to trade a lot more amongst ourselves and encourage cultural exchanges and tourism. And speaking of trade, I'm just going to touch on a couple of things. If you look at the Southern Africa region, they produce a lot of beef. I don't see any reason why any African country should go to Brazil or should go to Europe or Asia to bring in beef when we actually have beef in abundance here. We are not against, you know, trading with other continents. What we support is an Africa First agenda where we put the best interests of Africans first. Because we believe that every dollar spent out of Africa importing goods into Africa is a dollar spent impoverishing African people. Because really and truly, if you order things from Asia or Europe, these factories you're ordering from would be busy. If the orders are too many, they have to hire more staff. So they are making money and we are pretty much losing. And so we're here appealing, to all African sons and daughters to embrace this campaign of a visa-free Africa, where all of us can travel without the restrictions of visas within our respective countries. Now, if you look at the cultural exchanges as well, I mean, Africa has several beautiful cultures. The more we travel within Africa, the more we get to learn about each other's culture, and we need to encourage that, for the benefit of our African people. And this campaign was dreamt about following what our leaders started in the 1960s. So in 1960 precisely, the founder of my country, Kwame Nkrumah, one of the great Pan-Africanists, together with Sékou Touré from Guinea, together with Modibo Keïta from Mali. Sorry about that. Together with, I think the phone is connected to the laptop. Together with Modibo Keïta from Mali, Gamal Abdel Nasser from Egypt, and King Mohammed of Morocco. They met in Casablanca in 1960, and they had a vision of Africa where all Africans are connected, not only by ease of travel, but by ease of doing business, with a vision of having one passport, one currency for Africa as a way of, boosting trade, stimulating our respective economies. Ask yourselves, how many years now from 1960? And we're still talking about the same thing. It becomes so difficult for somebody from the SADC region to travel to West Africa, somebody from North Africa to come to East Africa, etc., simply because of border restrictions. And if Europeans and Americans are harassing us, come on, brothers and sisters, why must we, as Africans, harass each other, when we are visiting each other's countries? So the potential to grow this beautiful continent and create jobs here for our people. And when we talk about jobs, we're talking about sustainable jobs. As we speak, we're here in Lesotho. We're paying for hotel accommodation. If the hotels are full, what it means is that it's jobs for locals. And certainly once we are here, people will go and buy, artifacts, etc. to shop. That is stimulating the local economy. So we strongly need a connected Africa where we open up for all Africans to travel freely. And the next thing I want to add is that the African Union has an agenda, which is the Agenda 2063, that by 2063, they want to see all African countries connected and borderless. Many of us are young people. And let's ask ourselves, how many years from now to 2063? That is 40 years. I don't know who will live. We all hope that we'll live, for the next 40 years. But the African youth does not have 40 years. And so this can be done in 5 years. I mean, Kenya in July of this year announced that all African nationals can come to Kenya. Rwanda is doing it. Benin in West Africa is doing it. There are other countries that are doing it. Ghana wants to do it within the next 24 months. All right? Because the fear is that, when we open our borders, foreigners will come and flood our countries. The reality on the ground is not the case. Foreigners have not flooded Rwanda. Neither have they taken over Kenya, nor Benin, nor, there's several interesting places within Africa. So we need to remove the fear of one another. Definitely in every clan or family, there are bad nuts. We agree, definitely. But we shouldn't hide under the cover of the bad nuts amongst us and deny this beautiful continent an opportunity to unite and create, enormous wealth for our people. And so we have come to Lesotho, which is the 13th country out of the 39 countries we're visiting, engaging with you, colleagues in the media, to see that we can amplify the message of African unity, because we believe that if we unite, then everything will be well with us. As we speak, we have had very fruitful meetings. Yesterday we met His Majesty, the King, who received us very warmly and encouraged us to keep going. He couldn't believe we drove all the way from Ghana, to Lesotho. But that is what we are committed to. Because see, the people who fought for your independence in 1966, the people who fought for my country's independence in 1957, fought for those independence with their lives. Some were beaten, some lost their property, their land, some died in the process. What can we do as young Africans? We have to keep the legacy going by continuing from where the forefathers have left off. And so hopefully today we have engagement with His Excellency the Prime Minister, and we also intend to engage with Excellency the Minister for Tourism, and then after which our official engagement in your wonderful country would have come to an end, that we can move to Eswatini tomorrow and continue from there. So in a nutshell, this is what the Trans-Africa Tourism and Unity Campaign is about. It's a team of 8 Ghanaians who are dedicated to the cause of Africa and who believe that we need to embark on this journey to remind ourselves of the potential that Africa has. I'll give you one final example. If you take the Democratic Republic of Congo, for instance, the DRC is sitting on a $24 trillion mineral wealth that is untapped. What it means in real terms is that every year, the combined expenditure of Africa is about 2.2 trillion. All the countries combined, it's about 2.2 trillion. Now, if somebody's sitting on a $24 trillion wealth, what it means is that if Lesotho doesn't produce anything, if South Africa doesn't produce anything, if Ghana doesn't produce cocoa and gold, just one country, which is the Democratic Republic of Congo, can comfortably take care of all the other countries, the 54 other African countries, for the next 10 years. Now imagine, with Angola's resources, with Lesotho's tourism potential and natural resources, you've got water, with South Africa's resources, Ghana, Algeria, everybody else's resources. If we work together and get our act together, imagine what that would mean for the youth of this, great continent. So the potential for especially Lesotho, because we are here, is huge. By way of tourism, your tourism numbers could be quadrupled. You've got a very wonderful culture, you've got beautiful people, and the climate is good. And so we would do our best to also showcase what we've seen to our fans and friends, across the African continent. This indeed is the kingdom in the sky. And I was talking to a media house in Ghana yesterday, and I told them that if God were to stretch his hand to reach the countries of the world, it would be Lesotho he would reach first before he reaches any other country. So you've got a very blessed country, and I sincerely hope that the leadership, would open it completely up for other African nationals to visit this wonderful place. On this note, I would leave it here and invite you to ask all relevant and necessary questions related to this. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Name, media house.
Yeah, I'm 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗦 from Ts'ehla FM. I highly recommend and commend the initiative. I really like the initiative. So I want to hear from you, what is it that you need from the government of Lesotho in order for the campaign to be a success?
That's a good question. What we need is an official endorsement from the government of Lesotho. And beyond the official endorsement, we want to hear about some commitment that within a certain short period of time, Lesotho would finally open up to all African nationals. Because if we are to go by the African Union's agenda of opening up by 2063, other countries would relax, and so we want Lesotho, the Kingdom of Lesotho, to join hands in the opening up of our beautiful continent. Okay.
So from the past places you have passed before coming here, what have you learned, and how do they receive your message thus far?
I must tell you that the message has been warmly received. In Angola, for instance, as you may be aware, the president of Angola is currently, the African Union presidency is rotational. So he's currently the president of the African Union, and he wants to do this, in the next 3 years, within the next 3 years, because countries would have to put in place the necessary structures to make sure that the biometric systems are in place to capture anyone who is coming and to fish out those who are overstaying in the countries that they are visiting. So Angola has endorsed us, Burkina Faso has endorsed us, the Republic of Congo, Democratic Republic of Congo, Benin, etc., including my own country, Ghana. So we're hoping to see that official endorsement from the Kingdom of Lesotho. And it will be a good thing, because what it means is that it would open up Lesotho, create more sustainable jobs in tourism, and the jobs are enormous. Imagine if more hotels are opening. So they are not only employing managers, but they are employing cleaners to accountants to drivers to administrators to plumbers, etc. The potential is huge, to generate revenue, to build more roads, hospitals, etc. And the good thing about promoting intra-Africa tourism, which we are encouraging on this trip, is that, you see, a lot of the countries in Africa depend heavily on our natural resources. And so when the prices of these natural resources come down on the international markets, it affects and throws our economies out of gear. So it's important that countries would diversify and open up using, other tools like tourism to generate revenue.
Another one.
Okay.
Yes, I want to know how is your campaign financed? Because people are watching you. Some they want to support the initiative. They're watching from far, and they want to put something in this good initiative. They want to know how you finance it, and if they can help, how can they help?
Good question. As you know, aware, we are voluntary Africans who believe in Africa, who believe that Africa is a place to be and Africa has to work. And so individuals and private corporations that are eager and willing to support would be very much welcome. And they can reach us, by email at @transafricatourism@gmail.com, or, on phone on +233 244 350462. And of course they can reach you if they are unable to find us, and we really appreciate any support we could get, especially from the business community. If Africa prospers, it is the business community that further prospers, because what it means is that they have an opportunity to expand their businesses to some other countries. And so if you look on our vehicles, which are parked outside, you'd see, stickers and logos of companies that have provided support. You're traveling through Africa. And so if there are companies here that want to support, we'll be happy to put their stickers and logos on our vehicles so that all Africans could see that Company A or Company B believes in the Pan-African agenda. And wherever we go to and we feel there are business opportunities, we'll be happy to share it with the rest of Africa. Any more questions?
Can I come with this?
Okay, so.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. My name is Kulu. I come from the main. I may have come in while you were talking, so I that maybe some of the issues I didn't pick after you. Oh. Anyway, as I walked in, I heard you made mention of the fact that an initiative of this nature was not a new initiative that is being has begun long time ago, maybe in the 1960s. What difference in approach are you employing now as opposed to what the other people did then?
Good question.
Then maybe so that I see for everyone I do. Now, what are the challenges maybe that you have thus far encountered? Are there any threats from outside of Africa that would maybe feel threatened by the thriving of this need of a one United Africa, maybe from other, especially the white Western community?
Good question.
My name is Dan from the Post. I have a follow-up question on this question. How does Trans-African Tourism Unity Campaign align with the former Muammar Gaddafi's vision for United Africa?
Well, to put it simply, we're all singing from the same hymn book, right? But we are non-state actors. You know, previously it's been championed by countries. Muammar Gaddafi, Nelson Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah, Modibo Keita, King Mohammed, you know, Sékou Touré, etc. It seems to us that if we're going to depend on the state actors to exclusively do it, it will take a longer time. And we are not surprised that they've even set a target of 2063. That is 40 years from now. And so as African youth, we believe that we also need to support the leaders, you know, by talking about it and then to engage you so that you can also amplify it, so that they can see the need for us to do this immediately and now. I mean, look at the suffering of our young men and women who go through some of the most dangerous places, all in the name of going to seek greener pastures. Either those going through the Amazon or those going through the desert. When Africa has everything, when one country alone is sitting on $2.24 trillion untapped mineral wealth, and you can imagine the potential of this great continent. Our combined GDP alone is $3.3 trillion. We have a population of more than 1.4 billion. So you can imagine what we can do together if we close our ranks and work harmoniously. If you look at West Africa, where you know I come from, for instance, the consumer market in West Africa alone is about 450 million. So imagine if a leather factory in Southern Africa or a beef company decides to produce beef to just West Africa. Lagos in Nigeria alone has a population of almost 30 million people. And we don't want to trade amongst ourselves. We're literally doing an injustice to ourselves. And it shouldn't, you know, matter what others think. Other continents, they are interested in their best interest. And so you will hear some countries' presidents say, America first. You would hear Europeans looking more inwardly as Africans. What is our best interest? Our best interest is to ensure that our people are all right. You know, improve infrastructure, build roads, hospitals, create sustainable jobs for our young men and women. And that has to be done, because the crime we see all over Africa is as a result of people not getting sustainable jobs. And so we have to do that to make sure that we support the leaders in getting this done. And fortunately, since we started this campaign, it's gained momentum. Countries have seen the need to immediately align and get this done within the shortest possible time. I mean, Kenya, as I said, in July of this year, announced that all Africans can come in. And it is because Rwanda has been doing it. So they are seeing the potential, they are tracking the benefits that Rwanda is getting from opening up to all Africans. And, you know, they want to do that. The whole of Africa is beautiful. And if we open up to ourselves, I believe that Africans traveling within Africa alone would, you know, create needed revenue for us.
More questions?
I'm sorry? Is there a hand there? Okay. There'll be no further questions. I believe it's straightforward. I would want to thank you, distinguished members of the media, but not before I introduce my team members. Standing behind the camera is Mr. Francis Appiah, a man who speaks French fluently, and he has been our savior in Francophone Africa. Next to him in white t-shirt is Faris Salman Ayub. He's a protocol officer of our campaign. And then the gentleman holding the camera with the light on is, to my right, is Bashir Mohammed. He works with the Sports Authority of Ghana. And next to him in the red t-shirt is 𝗧𝗥𝗔𝗡𝗦. He's our media liaison officer. And we've got Dr. 𝗧𝗥𝗥𝗦𝗧𝗬. He's a Cuban-trained Pan-Africanist. So you can imagine his political leanings. Two of our colleagues had to return to Ghana from Gabon and Namibia for one reason or the other. And my humble self, my name is 𝗧𝗥𝗥𝗦𝗧𝗬. I am a former member of Parliament in Ghana. And I also worked with the state broadcaster in Ghana. I was a journalist for 10 years between 1997 and 2007. And I currently lead this campaign amongst several other things we're doing for Africa. So thank you very much, colleagues. Now you understand why I call you colleagues. once a journalist, always a journalist. Thank you very much, and we appreciate your kind support. And please, let's keep in touch. If there are any questions, follow the campaign as well. There are things that we want to do post the campaign. The campaign shouldn't end when we return to Ghana next year on the 27th of January. Yes, my attention has just been drawn to this. So this is a map of Africa. By the time we finish the campaign, this is how it would have looked. So we started from Ghana here, and then we're here. By the time we finish, the whole of the place will be green. But if you could go on to the next one. Now, you notice that some countries are in red. The ones that are in red are the danger zones. I mean, Libya, not safe. Sudan, not safe. Even Mali should have been highlighted as well, not safe. Somalia, Djibouti, Eritrea. So we are not going to these countries because of security reasons. But we are also not going to these countries on this lap because they are island countries. Seychelles, Comoros, Madagascar, we've got Cape Verde over here. I mean, we can't drive to this place unless we ship our vehicles. So that is the reason why, it's not all the 55 African countries. And so far, this is what we've done. The green portion is how far we have covered. And this is how much is left, etc. On this note, I thank you very much. God bless you all, and God bless Africa.